It will give you more fruits than anything else. But as I said, first you begin with your imagination. How quickly our imagination starts working in the material world, isn't it? If somebody wants to make quick money, then you hear about the national lottery. How many people invest in that? They go crazy. I want quick money. And the imagination starts running. This time I'm going to win. They've already made plans of buying a big bungalow and this, that, and the other. And people have bought helicopters as well. You see, the imagination runs. You're restless. That person is restless till he puts this into practice to find out whether he can make that quick money. In the same way, a genuine seeker, if he is told by a divine personality or a saint about the wonderful blessings of faith and spiritual consciousness, then he's awakened to it. And he wants to try and realize it. Eventually, he will come closer and closer to it. Now, I don't mean by this that the spiritual journey is total imagination. It's not. It begins with this imagination, with the thinking, and eventually leads to actual experience. You can try it for yourself. So this is the first truth that we need to put into practice. The second knowledge which we need to realize is that I am not this physical body. I am a soul. A soul that is an eternal part of that Supreme Being. Mamaivansho jivaloke jivabhutas sanatana. Lord Krishna says in the Gita, 15 chapter 7th verse. The Vedanta Sutra says, Ansho nana vyapadeshat, Sutra number 2342. We are not this physical body. We all know that there is a spark of life within. And the moment that spark of life leaves, we pronounce the person dead. That's what we call death, right? So that spark of life, the scriptures tell us about it, that is a soul, that is a divine entity. At the beginning of the lecture, I addressed you as divine souls. So we are divine entities. We are not only parts of that Supreme Being, but He is also our Father. Amritasya vai putraha. Not only that, the Subalopanishad mantra 4:6 says, Divyo Deva Eko Narayano Mata Pita Bhrata Nivasa Sharanam Surit. The Bhagavad Gita says, Gatir Bharta Prabhu Sakshi Nivasa Sharanam Surit. 9 chapter 18th verse. And you all know the famous mantra. Probably you've taught your children as well. Tvameva mata chapita tvameva tvameva bandhuscha sakha tvameva tvameva vidya dravinam tvameva sarvam. No point listing one by one. Your father, your mother, your friend, you're my wealth, you're my cousin, you're my brother. He's everything. He's all in all. That's how the verse ends. Why? Do you know what the definition of relation is? The word for relation is sambandh, relationship, sambandh. And sambandh consists of two words. Sam and bandh. Sam means samyak. Samyak means all-rounded eternal. And bandh means tie, relationship, bond. So the actual meaning of sambandh or relation is that which is eternal and all-rounded tie. Can there be any eternal relationship in the world? No. Every relationship has to be temporary because this physical body is temporary. Jagnate tan ke hai Govind Radhe, tan chhute नाते टूटे को साथ ना दे. जग एक धर्मशाला गोविंद राधे, लोग आवे जावे कौन किसका बता दे. We come and we go. And this has happened life after life. Every life we have a different set of relationships. So relationships in the material world, they are not all rounded. In the sense, a father is a father. The father is not going to be your son. And if a lady is not married, he's not going to be a husband. Things are being all mixed up in the world today. We are talking about a normal life. So, but with the Supreme Being, the scriptures are telling you, He is your father. That same person is your mother. He's also your child. He's also your brother. And He's also your beloved. He's every relationship because it is a relationship of a soul to a super soul. It is an eternal relationship. He was with you in the past lives. He is here with you today. He will accompany you even beyond the gates of death. Have you heard of Zoroaster? He said, the friend who will assist you is God. But you will attain His friendship only if you walk in His ways and place on Him your firmest reliance. Listen to the words. If you walk in His ways, He will be your friend, and place on Him your firmest reliance. I'll explain this to you in examples you probably heard. How Draupadi, you know about Draupadi? She was dragged into the assembly by the wicked Dushasan in order to insult her in front of all those kings and those assembled there. He tried to disrobe her, you know that. And Draupadi, she called out to her husbands, mighty husbands, isn't it? Bhim, Arjun, all these people were mighty warriors. She had hoped they would save her, but they had lost her in gambling. They just put their heads down. Then she thought, these elders in the assembly, Bhishma, Pitama, etc., they cannot let this happen to me. She had faith in them. And even they. Dharmasya tvarita gati. What Dharma says, it's very crooked, the way of Dharma. And they could not do anything. They didn't do anything. Draupadi was absolutely, you could understand her plight in that assembly, what was going to happen. And Dushasan was pulling her sari and she thought, I'm not going to let this happen. She clenched her sari between her teeth and she called out to Lord Krishna. Nothing happened. She had clenched it between her teeth, hoping with her own power to protect herself. Yes, she was not like women today. She was a very special person with a lot of strength. But Dushasan, it is said, he had the strength of 10,000 elephants. How could her strength be compared to his strength? And when with one jerk the sari came out of the clench between her teeth, then she raised both her hands and cried to Krishna, Ha Nath, Dwarika Vasin,